Hey guys, V from Shark Fin Shears here. Thank you for tuning in to today's class where we're going to be doing a live haircut, bringing you tricks and tips that you can take this week and use behind the chair. I suggest taking one or two of these tricks, trying them out on a client this week, see how they work out for you. Have fun with it. We're going to have fun in today's class. And be sure to tune in every Monday or check out the YouTube channel so you can see the recordings as well. If you're in today's class, please stay tuned to the end. I want to give you a promo code that you can use on the website to shop around that'll help you out when purchasing a pair of shears. Shark Fin is dedicated to bringing education on the tools that you're going to be using behind the chair. I'll talk specifically about the shear that I use and why I like it. And I just want to let you know, again, before we get started, that Shark Fin has a shear for everybody, whether you're looking for a swivel or a non-swivel, a 5.5 inch shear up to a 7, and the different type of blending shears that we offer as well. There's something out there for everybody, and I want to make sure that you have the tool that you're comfortable with in your hand when you're working behind the chair all day. So again, stay tuned until the end. Thank you for tuning in today. And if there's anything in the future that you would like to see, hit us up on Instagram at Shark Fin Shears and let us know what you want to learn about. Let's get started.
Hey guys, what's going on? We are back for part 2 with Dan. On the first part, we did his haircut today, and now we're going to do his beard. So, talk to the people, Dan.
Hi.
When was the last beard trim?
Weeks ago.
Okay. So, it's been a little while then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and now with the fresh haircut, we're going to taper in. What do you want to see with a taper? We'll skin it out.
Yeah.
And do you want to keep it pretty high or bring it down to the beard as much as I can? Do you have a preference on that?
No.
Okay. But
Whatever you think works.
are you trying to keep the beard as full as it is right now?
Probably take it down a little bit.
Take it down a little bit? In, like, kind of inside on the shape here and on the length?
Yeah.
A little bit? Okay.
That works.
Noticeably different or like sharpened up, like tuned up, but like
Yeah.
tuned up and keep it full? How about the stash? What's going on with the stash? Have you trimmed it at all?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay. How you want to keep it full? Off the lip?
No, I'll go
Take
off the
it
lip.
down
Go off the lip.
and take it down in length, or just take it off the lip?
It's off the lips. Good.
Okay. All right, cool. Let me check under. Okay, cool. And then you always keep up with your neckline here?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, sweet. Well, we're going to talk about beards a little bit then. I'm going to give a few key parts to the beard and some things that I specifically look for. So a beard like this is going to require some sculpting. It's going to have some clipper work, and then we're going to have to go in kind of freehand and sculpt it. So let's talk a little bit about where we're going to be using clipper work. The taper area, I'm going to clear with a 2 from the earlobe up. That's generally a landmark for me for people. I'll clear about with a 2, and then taper, do a skin taper from where the ear attaches to the head in between the 2 and that landmark as well. That will allow for the taper to blend really nice into a long beard. So that's the taper into the full beard. Inside here, we're going to take this down. I'm going to go take a clipper and show you how to go with the grain and remove some of the bulk on the inside length of the beard. So anatomy wise, our bone sticks out here. So when we taper, it's going to create a nice streamlined look. Our cheeks bevel and is a wide part, and then the chin is going to be more narrow. So I want to remove some bulk to give it more of a sleek look here. We'll show you how to do that. When we go in to remove length, we'll comb this out. And because he just kind of wants a tune up here, we're going to comb it out, see what's sticking out of the shape, find a length. We're going to start the guide dead center here. and then we'll work our way out to the left and out to the right. And that is one of the easiest ways to get a nice even look on both sides. For the stash, we'll take it off the lip. Like you said, we'll kind of just treat that like an outline. Once we see that, I may go in and recommend removing a little bit of bulk, and we'll show you how to do that with a little clipper over comb there. And one thing that I've noticed as guys are growing out their beards, the neckline is very key for this. As you can see, Dan has it at the mid to low line. And really what that hair is, where it's growing from, is from under the chin and the neck, and that's giving the bulk of the length there. So if you ever have a gentleman who has like me, I just recently took my beard off. I'm growing it back in. You can come back down, thanks. My line is going to be on the high to mid side, and that's going to give me a sharp look when I turn. And when I face you, you're not going to be able to see the line underneath, so it's not going to look like I have a double chin. However, when we're going for hang time, the lower the neckline, the better. So, sound good to you, Dan? Mm-hmm. How you been doing with beard work?
Good.
What's been going well, or what have you struggled with?
Haven't really been struggling a lot with it. Although I do like when I'm taking it down, I use my guards. I don't freehand.
You what?
I don't freehand, but I'm sculpting. On the side, I use my guard.
Okay.
Usually going with I'll start at like a 5 and then work my way down.
Good. I'm glad you said that because we were going to talk about that. So can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Like what you're saying. So you're talking about here on the cheek side?
Yeah, like coming down on the sideburns, I'll come down with, I'll start up high and see what starts to cut, and then I'll work it down because I don't feel comfortable freehanding that yet.
Nice.
So I'm kind of using the guards as a crutch till I can get more comfortable to do it freehand.
Well, I'll tell you this. Sometimes, like with your beard type and the way that it's sitting and everything, I would not. Your beard is straight, really, really straight, and it lays almost like hair naturally does. So I wouldn't freehand this because it would take way too much off. My hair, my beard hair grows out very curly, and you can, kind of sculpt it and put it in the shape you want. So typically I would freehand more of a curly beard. Anything straight like this, I'm going in with a clipper with the grain. How about line work? How's your line work been?
Pretty good. I've been using straight razors mostly for my line work.
Yeah. What have you found to be helpful when you're going in for your line work?
Starting the line off with the trimmer first, and then making it look sharper with the straight razor.
Nice. So doing some pre-work with the trimmer.
Mm-hmm.
How have you found to get like a nice shape? Do you have any tricks and tips for kind of getting a nice shape?
I kind of just go with the natural look of where it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll use hairspray, kind of
Stiffen up the hair.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so what we said about earlier, we're going to, from the earlobe up, we're going to clear with a 2. I re-cleared with a 1 to see how much length would come out. And then I'm seeing a natural break. You can see it here. There's a natural break right in here. And that's where I'm going to put the open no guard. So we'll cut all that down, do a little lever play, and stay above where we just put that open no guard line. The sideburn area will taper easier because it's one of the least dense areas. Nice. Go back in with a little bit of half guard. Blend that up nice. All right. I'll ask the question. Anybody know why? Do you know why I put a towel under your beard?
Keep the hair from falling down.
Well,
Floor.
so for a beard work, sometimes when I'm laying people back and whatnot, putting the drape on can kind of get a little tight when they're moving their neck up and down. So that's one reason. Yeah, I'll keep the hair off you. Do you know why else we put it there?
No.
Cool. Contrast. So when I have that off, you got to have a black shirt on. The top of the collar of the cape is black, and your beard was blending in with it. So when I'm looking in the mirror, when I have the contrast here with the white towel, we'll be able to really clearly see that shape and everything that we're kind of building for the beard. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, typically I wear a black cut jacket in the barbershop, but I'll wear white here so people can get that contrasting look. We do it for the people. Same thing here, there's a natural break. Now, if you're just starting out with hair cutting and with beards, whatever you do to one side, I always recommend doing it right away to the other side. So I did forget on this one, I apologize, but what I always recommend to people starting out with beards or hair cutting, my students, whoever, you run the two on one side, you do it on the other side. You run the one to re-clear, do it on one side, do it on the other. Open no guard, lever play to the half guard. So it keeps you in sync. Once everything becomes muscle memory for you and you're very confident in what you're doing, where you're doing it, why you're doing it, then you can kind of bounce around like I'm doing now. But with hair cutting, fading, tapering, all that stuff, it's very easy. You can get lost very easily. All right, so got our taper on both sides. Cool. So now let's go into what Dan was talking about. So removing a little bit of bulk inside the cheeks here, we can start high. I typically go in with the 2, and I'll take the 2, I'll put it flat on the cheekbone up here, and then when I run down, we're coming straight down, and then where the face likes to curve in, I'll start to curve out to keep length. But like Dan was saying, if you're not sure, always start with a higher number and work your way down. So I'm going to have Dan tilt. We'll see if this cuts anything. So this is a closed 4. Not taking as much as I would like right now. So let's go down, we'll guard skip. Let's go down to an open 2. I can already hear it cutting. Got good pressure on Dan's face. There we go. So when I'm cutting like this, when I'm going with the grain and cutting hair, I'm looking for the removal of bulk and I'm listening for the hair to be cut. So I want to observe and I want to listen. In the last video you were talking about grabbing the wrong guard. Mm-hmm. I had a student working on my beard one time, and one of the ways that I teach mustaches for newer students or whatever is the clippers, the trimmers will come with small guards too for either doing the sideburn or the mustache. I asked him to grab what was it? Believe a 3mm clipper attachment. He didn't pay attention. He grabbed the 1.5 and made all the difference in the world. Pretty much took my mustache like clear off. So, yep, I got roasted when I went into the shop for like 2 weeks cutting hair then, but all good. What's up? Chin up just a little bit. So here I'm hovering. I'm staying less pressure on the face and getting the clipper in on the hair to cut it. Getting into this area here. Again, the chin is so narrow. I don't want to push in and go down. That'll take the shape off from the front. But I can already see that difference. That looks great. And then you can see the shape in the front here. So typically when the beard grows out, you're going to get like that bevel shape here. We have more of a up and down shape there. We have a straight up and down shape here. Again, with the taper, this bone sticking out as much as it does, the hair is going to look longer. It's going to give it a bevel look here, and then the cheek's going to give it a bevel look over on that side too. So now we can go in, take a look at the length. And Dan said we can remove some length. We're going to start in the middle as a guide and then work our way to the left and to the right. The other thing I want to note for you guys is you can see the angle of the beard here. We're going to follow that angle. If you turn your clipper and you go straight in, you're going to cut way too much hair off. Way too much hair. So the angle of the clipper is going to be the same angle of the beard as you see it now. If you're cutting a beard that doesn't have as much shape as Dan's does right now, please pay attention to that. Again, if you kind of just go straight in, you're going to gouge out the beard and you're going to take way too much length off. I'm going to turn so you guys can see this guide. The other thing I will shy away from is I will not take my adjustable clipper all the way to the neck. Reason being, the neck has, the skin's looser on the neck. And if I push with just enough pressure, I don't even have to push that much, and the size of the adjustable teeth, the skin on the neck can feed into it and be very uncomfortable for your client, if not cut or scratch them. The teeth on the trimmer, smaller, it's made to create very sharp lines. So when I'm going in, I'm stopping just short of that neckline with the trimmer, with the adjustable clipper. And then I'll finish that line up with the trimmer. Chin up slightly. So see this here? Cool. All right. Chin up again. So just a little bit of polish work here. When I comb a beard out to start my cutting, I go one hard comb out, get the length I want. I comb out one more time. Now again, this is a little easier for Dan's beard because it's straight. The curlier the beard, the more like when you really comb it out, it's just going to get straighter and straighter and straighter. So you're going to actually tend to cut too much off. So I'll go through, give the beard a nice comb, set my length in, and then I'll comb one more time. And there will be a little bit of stray hair. So I'm just going to clean it up, polish it up a little bit, and then that's it. I don't cut it again. All right, since we have our guide now, I can go over to the left side. I'll walk out the square. Keep the angle of my clipper square wall to wall, walking it all the way out where I'm not touching hair anymore. So you can come down just a little bit so they can see this. So right here, my clipper's hanging off. I'm keeping it straight. I'm not going to angle or anything like that. Why? Because right here, when I walk it out straight, that last part that the clipper was actually able to touch is now going to be my guide to work up towards the ear. I'm running out of space a little bit, so I'm going to tilt Dan's head. This is going to open up this area here. Doing beard work, you can tend to start to really crank your body in different ways. You want to try to stay as straight up as possible. Try not to get out of try to stay in a position that's going to keep you comfortable all day and save your back for the long term. All right. So again, this line under here, that hair you're still seeing up against the neck there, we're going to tune up with the outliner to avoid any discomfort for Dan. Follow the same angle. Dan, do you use a foil shaver on your neck? Or do you razor it?
I razor it.
Okay. So if we were in the shop, I could and would lather this up, shave it. I always ask clients if they have ever foil shaved their neck, or if because foil shavers on the neck, with it being a sensitive area, can cause a lot of irritation. Chin up straight. A little bit more. Thanks. There we go. If I were cutting in the shop, I'd be cutting into my mirror now, constantly cutting and checking. Dan's hair is growing down here. So clean that up. A little bit of overhang here. So when I'm cutting in the shop, I do half-hour appointments, and that's for a beard and cut as well. Generally, what we were just talking about, those common areas are going to be the main focus for guys with beards. So getting used to that and knowing what the client's looking for and then having your system down, that will allow you to kind of speed your process up and be able to produce a really good looking beard. Cool. All right, so Dan, what I was talking about earlier with the beard line. So you have a mid to high beard line. Do you like to keep it as high as possible? Or do you have a preference on like where you put your beard? So I typically say anything from below the lip is going to be a low line. Where the lips meet, that's going to be like a midline, and then the corner, if hair grows up to the corner of the stash, that's a really high line. So do you just want it to be
I'll keep it mid.
mid,
Yeah.
natural and sharp, mid, natural and sharp? Cool.
You going with the gut?
Nope. All right, let's do this beard or the stash. We're gonna start with the getting it off the lip, like Dan said, and then maybe moving towards removing a little bit of bulk in it. Yep, that's it. Going out tonight, bud?
Yep, you know it.
Hope so. Great. All right. So, coming over to the beard line, I'm gonna aim to bring the line into the lip area. Very, very important to make sure that your trimmer line, like your trimmer, the way that it's angled, matches what you're trying to do. I'm gonna use the front third of the right side here. Start high, work my way down. I like to come over to the sideburn. Bring that into where I want it. And then we have an A and a B that we can match. And then we'll razor that up. This side curves a little bit more, so we're going to be careful with that, paying attention to that. Do you ever do your beard at home or in between haircuts? Or are you just letting everything grow and then getting it all tuned up when you go in?
I usually just do it in between haircuts every now and then.
What's that?
I'll do it in between haircuts every now and then.
Okay. Alright, so let's check in. Can you see that?
Looks good. Cool.
Cool. So we'll razor it up.
Sure.
Alright. Alright, one thing that I typically will always do in the shop, I'll have 3 razors at my station. They'll be open, disinfected. We'll take a fresh blade. What I like to do is I'll be talking to my client before we do the razor work. I'll put a fresh blade in front of them so they can always see that they are getting a fresh blade. It's good practice. I think it goes a long way with your client as well. I'm going to use a shave gel today. So we're going to apply a little bit of shave gel just above the hairline. Not too high, you don't want your thumb to slip. I've seen people use different stuff all the time for their beard lines. This is what I'll use. Come up. I'm going to pull the skin nice and taut. Straight object, we're creating a little bit of a curved shape. So I'm only going to use about 1/3 of the tool. Again, just making sure that that skin is nice and taut. There's the A. You can come down. Put your B in. And then connect on your way up. One trick for people, I'm pulling as I'm going into the connection piece, I'm not pulling as tight as I can, just tight enough for the skin to be flat and have enough, create enough tension so that I can get a smooth glide. The higher and tighter you pull on the cheek, you're zoomed in, nice Des, thanks. So the more you pull, you can see how big that connection point is. The deeper, when you let it go, the deeper the C or that curved shape is going to come out. So I'm looking for something a little bit more subtle for Dan. So as I'm pulling, again, it's just enough tension to be able to shave. But the harder that you pull in that cheek area, then again, the bigger the C cup's going to be. Are you relaxed?
Mm-hmm.
Good. You relaxed now? Can you hear me now? So on your opposite side, so I'm left-handed, so on the right side, I have to pay a little bit more attention to my angle with the heel.
Your hand is just barely away.
How's that?
That's perfect.
Another thing that I paid attention to early on, or I caught early on, and I try to have students become aware of, is you typically have a strong side and a weak side when you're trying to match up razor lines or creating lines, either in your outlining or with razor work or whatever. When you kind of get to a point where you start to notice that, start on your weaker side, because you'll always be able to match your strong side to your weak side. If you start on your strong side and you get the perfect razor lineup or anything like that, it's really hard in the beginning to get that matched up the way you want it to. You notice that at all, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
So we put a big structure in. Now we're just going in for some polish work. Smaller connections. Nice. Cool. So that's our beard work for today. Take this gel off a little bit. There we go. Another trick I've seen people do for tension, can you put, hold on 1 second. So if you don't want to pull with your thumb as much, I've also seen barbers have their client ask them to put air in there. Can you put air in the cheek? Yep. So when he puts air in the cheek here, and if he can hold that, yep, there you go. It creates just enough tension. There you go. Nice. There we go. Just a little bit of polish work there. Cool. So again, guys, let's talk about what we were paying attention to today. Creating a really nice floor to ceiling shape, straight up and down shape. Paying attention to where the bone sticks out here and the cheeks. We taper in from the earlobe up into the haircut, and we took a 2-guard open, resting it on the high cheekbone, and then just going down and floating, and then turning towards the chin. Doing the same thing on the opposite side, and then on the front here, kind of getting that straight up and down look here. More hovering here, not being pressed flat up against the face. That's going to gouge out too much. And then combing the beard out for the length. We're tilting the head up a little bit. We're starting in the middle. And then don't forget about your clipper angle. You want to make sure that that's angled and not going straight in, or again, you're going to gouge out too much of that hair. All right. Those are the most common areas. This is a little bit of a smaller beard for hang time, but this is hang time. And anything from this length longer, I'd pretty much do the same procedures for that. Also, don't forget to pay attention to the neckline. the more hang time a client has, or if they're starting to grow it off their face and have hang time on the beard, you want to drop that neckline down lower so that that hair on the neck can grow in to actually fill in and give it the length that they desire. So, are you happy with everything today, Dan?
Turned out great. Thank you.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again for being a hair model and a beard model. Appreciate it. I think the beard and the hair came out super nice.
It did.
Hope this was helpful for you guys. If you, we've only done one other beard tutorial, so if this was helpful for you guys, please drop us a message, education@sharkfinshears.com, or DM us on Instagram at sharkfinshears. Love to hear from you guys. Hope this was helpful. Take a couple tricks this weekend or this week and try them out. So we'll see you next Monday.
See ya.